Herbivore. Herbivore. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal. Yes, it's me, Paul from Hench Herbivore. How are we doing today? Am I out of focus? Is it out of focus? Hang on. It's hard to get it just right. How are we doing? Thanks for joining me. Sorry I was absent. Was that yesterday? It's Saturday today. Sorry I was absent yesterday. I had a cold for a few hours, but it's gone now. That's either the first or second virus I've had in the last 2 or 3 years. I think I may have had the cove a bit after camp out. I started to feel really ill for about an hour, and then I was all right from that. So yeah, I very rarely get ill nowadays. If I do, it's normally an hour to just a handful of hours. I'm feeling really well today. So healthy diet, whole foods, plant-based, get your sleep, get some movement in, have, a good social circle, be of service, do the stuff. Cold showers and breath work are great for immune function too. Aslan Algor, you are first. Afternoon, my good people. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see you. Mini Squald, you are second. Welcome. Where in the world are you? How are you doing? How's the vegan scene where you are? Same question to Kevo Legend. Have I seen you two in the chat before? Kevo Legend might sound familiar. Anyway, introduce yourselves if you've not already. I want to turn my ISO down a bit. Mooncat, do I want to turn my ISO down a bit? I keep playing around with lights today, and I can't make my mind up. Aslan, been here a while since I've been in the chat. Same as all the other live streams. It's good to have you today, my friend. Sergeant Angharad, good to see you with your mum, Fudge and Dad, and you. Nelly is at work but watching. Good to have you in also. General Jolicoeur, how you doing, my friend? Important question came up on my Facebook. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thoughtful insight. Is it vegan to eat your boogers? Is it vegan to eat your own boogers? So it wouldn't be vegan to eat an animal's boogers because that's an animal product. I think that the spirit that the Vegan Society wrote the definition in. So it's avoiding, where possible, all forms of cruelty and exploitation to animals wherever practicable and practically possible. Practical and possible. So I think that they meant non-human animals. It's a bit open to interpretation because humans are animals, but I think they specifically talking about non-human animals. So I think it would be vegan to eat your own boogers. Although it does contradict a bit where it says excluding animal products, because again, we're animals and that's a product of our nose. So I think it's open to interpretation, but I think the spirit of it is likely that you can eat your own boogers. So don't worry, Andre, you can carry on doing that. Big stream bear. Blue and Egg, what was this? Saturday afternoon stream? Oh, and hello. Yeah, just making up for the stream I missed yesterday. I missed hanging out with you guys, and I thought I'd come on today. Also, I've got a video going live at 5. Another Isaac Butterfield response. To do with, did you see Vegan Booty got attacked by that farmer? He sort of gave her a wedgie really hard and just threw her out of this area. And what a horrible old man. So yeah, we did a little response to his response. So I thought, yeah, we'll go live, have a hangout, and then hopefully there'll be a few of you in there, and I can point you towards the videos that get some views. Dragon Fist, what do you think of Freely's diet? I think if she's gone completely frugivore again, I'm not a fan of that. I mean, she says we need lots of glucose and fructose sugars. They're not essential. They're not. I think that the healthiest diet probably we can infer is high in carbs, but I think we can also infer that it's the most varied diet. And if you're just eating fruit, well, that's not that varied, is it? I mean, I guess he's eating some greens as well, probably, but I'm not a fan. Some people say that they eat that way and their bloods are great, and you know what I mean? I'm not going to poo-poo their experience, but I just don't think it's very practical for people who are not living in the tropics, as she is. And it's not sure it's not optimal. It's all right. It's not bad, but you know, a lot of well, some fruitarians say that like if you eat like anything but raw, you know, plant foods, you know, cooked foods are the devil, and you're gonna die of butt cancer, and like, you know, it's just complete horse manure. You know, there's no data to back that up. I think, you know, as I say, the best diet is diverse. It's got all the things. It's got fruits, veggies, nuts, seeds, grains, legumes. Yeah. Emmanuel, good to see you, bro. Big Spoon Bear. I bought some yellow split peas today. No idea what to do with them. Any ideas? Look up Ethiopian split pea stew. They're delicious. Dragon Fist. How much beta carotene for glowing skin? The more the better. Really? The more the better. Also, how much for your skin to glow in the dark? I think that's more plutonium that does that rather than carotenoids. And you don't forget, there's not only beta carotene, there's 600 different carotenoids, alpha carotene, lutein, zeaxanthin, lycopene. You know, there's 600 odd carotenoids. So yellow, orange, red, and dark green produce is what you want to be going overboard on. But yeah, there is data to show that it does change your skin tone. It gives us a nice, more orangey glow, which people find more attractive. Backed by science. Backed by science. I think the data was you can get it about 20% or like a 20% increase. Like it is correlated with more attraction. And that's for any race, by the way. They did that for all races of people. Nelly, Hench, I tried using vegan soap, lotion and deodorant, and it broke my skin out badly. I have expert no products that work for me is Dove. I feel bad for using all vegan products, but it works. I mean, yeah, you need things that work, don't you? So we make our own deodorant with coconut oil, shea butter. Not sure what else is in there, but you might check that out on our channel. I mean, I guess there's no animal products in the Dove, so that's something, isn't it? I just wonder if there are ones that can work. I don't know. Yeah, you can only do what you can do, can't you? You can only do your best. Shell on Earth is in the hizzy. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Introduce yourself if you wish to. That'll be lovely. Andre, do you guys know about AFOT and also us on the 2nd? I fast for 24 hours on the 2nd day of each month in protest with the treatment of animals as they are transported to slaughter. Check out more information at fastagainstslaughter.org for more info. You are a beautiful human being. Vegan Mooncat. Subscribe to him. He's great. Oh yeah, we're doing a live stream tomorrow on Mooncat's channel, 6 p.m. So go over to Vegan Mooncat now, subscribe, set a reminder for the stream. We'll see you then, 6 p.m. GMT. How are you doing, Mooncat? Good to see you, my friend. Julie, good afternoon, everyone. It's nice weather for ducks down here in Kent. Yep, same up here in Norfolk. Terrible. And I do love Kent. I was born there, as you may well know. The Garden of England, etc. Michelle, hello. Thanks for being here. Thank you for being here too, you lovely person. How important are proteins and fats when weightlifting, and when should I eat them? So just eat them throughout the day. I would say three meals is good. I think possibly up to 5 protein feeds may give you a benefit potentially to muscle building. So you might do like 3, you know, if you're really seriously lifting and you've got a big protein requirement, you might do 3 meals with a couple of shakes, like one in between, like, you know, a couple of the meals. Or 2 in between the 3 meals, I should say. So protein, how important is it? Well, if you're not going to do this unless you're eating like just oil and sugar. But if you need protein obviously to repair muscle, so it's essential. If you've got no protein, you're going to be detraining. Fats, you need some fats to produce steroid hormones, testosterone, and the like. I know females only produce a 10th to a 20th of what males produce, but you do need that going on. There's essential fatty acids, essential amino acids. Basically, if you don't eat them, eventually you will die. That goes for, most, possibly all essential nutrients as far as I know. So you don't want to do that. Super chat. Lovely Applejar is there. Our good friend Applejar. How are you doing? Long time no see. Kindly donated $2 Australians just to test my first super chat didn't work. Sorry to hear that. And thank you. And welcome back to the stream. And how have you been doing? We're all wondering how you're getting on, brother. Good to see you. Leon Kuchtra in the hizzy. Where the hell was I? Dragonfist. What do you think of Dr. Gregor saying to people with SIBO issues who are vegan and eat 100 grams or more of fibre per day to just eat more fibre to fix their problem? Gojiman does not agree with Gregor. Nor do I. I had SIBO. I was eating over 100 grams of fibre at the time. Maybe up to 160 grams, and I had to just seriously cut that back, or I was in complete agony. Like, that's the reason I cut it down. So, no, that's ridiculous advice. Normally, I hang off of his every word. So, do you know what I mean? But, no one is infallible. No one is infallible, is what I will say. Leon, seems like someone's late. If you're talking about me, I was actually exactly on time, 3:30 GMT. So, no. Big Spoon, I got slated the other day about being vegan and using tech. Yeah, well, we live in an imperfect world, and, at least you're not paying for animals to get stabbed in the neck or shot in the head on a daily basis like they are. And, they're using technology and probably driving everywhere and paying for animals to be stabbed in the neck 3 times a day. They're just trying to feel okay about their unnecessary murder sandwiches. Once they give up all that and all their technology, maybe that'll be time for us to think about giving up our technology. But we can only do our best in an imperfect world. Take me, for instance. We've had 6 million plus video views. I was on the BBC World Service. I think I was broadcast to 166 million, talking about how great a vegan diet is. I would bet my life that I've turned so many people vegan that it's offset all the harm I did and then some. So, we can only do our best. Like, roads have, like, animal products, like, money's got animal products. You just can't get away from it in this current sick world. But things are changing for the better, and, it's like an appeal to futility fallacy almost, isn't it? You can't be completely vegan, so why bother? I might accidentally walk into someone and knock them over, so I might as well punch everyone in the mouth who I come across. That's basically what they're saying. Ridiculous. Shaggy, good to see you. You know it. Thanks, Mooncat. Oh, hi, do you feed your cat a vegan diet? I feed my cat a complete vegan cat food, which is engineered for carnivores. So when people say vegan diet, that's not very useful, be it animal or human related. It just tells you like an ethical stance. It tells you what you're not eating. It doesn't tell you what you are eating. If you were to feed a cat salad, they'd be dead within about 5 months. But our cat's been alive for, 6 or 7 years now on a completely vegan, the operative word, cat food. And if you look at the data, all studies show either no difference between a complete vegan cat food and standard food, or about half of them showed benefit to the vegan cat food, including the latest study, which is the largest ever of its kind. It showed 5 benefits for the cats fed a complete vegan cat food over an omnivorous or a more meat-based food. So yeah, I do feed my cat a vegan diet, but specifically it's complete vegan cat food, not salad. Emmanuel, I have my driving test on Monday on my latest lesson. In such that he thought that I would pass. I'm feeling good. Good luck. Fingers crossed. Let's wish Emmanuel good luck on his driving test. Big spoon, vitamin D and V12 are good to prevent upper respiratory illness. I probably wouldn't be taking them. Oh yeah. Ben, hi Hench, what are your thoughts on using stevia as a sweetener? For the longest time, the dose makes the poison. It's actually in my protein powder, come to think of it. I used to use it quite regularly, separately, but in high enough doses, we've found out that it is mutagenic. It can damage DNA, so potentially it could be carcinogenic. Gemma, what have I done with my shake?
I have no idea. Do you need me
Would you mind to hunt it down for me, please?
Sure.
I think it's probably in the kitchen. So yeah, we used to think it's healthy. We've since found out there's 2 or 3 or 4 potential negatives. Again, the dose makes the poison. I wouldn't worry if it's a little bit, but ideally you'd probably have none. Here it is. I'm drinking some now, so do you know what I mean? It's not such a concern. But I wouldn't want to smash it down all day long. Now we think xylitol is possibly completely healthy. But again, hang on, I should be behind that, shouldn't I? What's going on here? So I need to put the webcam below something, don't I? Was that going to do it? Right, I think the image should appear in front of me. What was I saying? Stevia. Yeah, so yeah, we used to think stevia was okay. We now know there are potential negatives in large enough doses. Now we're saying erythritol is probably good. But again, it's processed, isn't it? It's from a whole food, a whole plant food, but it has been processed. And it seems to me sooner or later we tend to find out, actually there is some kind of a problem. So I say stick to whole plant foods as far as possible and swerve as much additives as possible. Yeah, so that's my view on that. Super chat. Lovely apple jar kindly donated 10 Australian bucks. Bless your heart. First charged me 20, didn't work. What? That's not very good. Was that on StreamYard's apple jar, or was that on I guess that's YouTube, is it? If it is, you might, if you were to donate again, you might try the StreamYard's donation link underneath this stream. Sorry about that. Yeah, that shouldn't be a thing. That's really frustrating. Bless you. Anyway, you're so kind. The death in the family, so I took a break from everything. Might have to rejoin the ranks of membership. Hope you're a great legend. I'm in Melbourne. Any lockdown health tips? Bless you. Well, you know your nutrition, get what exercise you can. I think the worst thing about lockdown has been, the isolation. So it's really come on here, connect with people any way you can. Zoom's great. I've been having loads of Zoom chats with people, which I never really used before lockdown. So that's been good. Yeah, and forums. It's not the same as real life, is it? But it's something, and I think that's where we're where we're mostly gone wrong. And, so in terms of so it's mental well-being, isn't it? And I've found since lockdown, I've been doing a lot more meditation, cold therapy, so ice cold shower. You can do an ice bath potentially, breath work. This is all great for our mental well-being. It really helps keep us a lot happier. It's amazing stuff. I can't speak highly enough. Anyway, I hope you come out of that soon. Bless you. That really does suck. And sorry to hear about your family member too, my friend. Super chat. Pesca kindly donated £1.79. Any way you can buy ethical honey? There's vegan honey alternatives made from apple. That would be the only way. When we enslave bees to make honey, we basically work them to death. They panic. When they see that the honey is being stolen, they work like twice as hard and they basically die in half the time. I think your average honeybee normally lives for 42 days. They live for 21 days if we're stealing their honey. And we're stealing it. Like, we've got to steal it. So at the very least, how would we like it if we're working hard all week, slogging our guts out, bringing home the food, and then someone rips the top off your house, puts their arm in, nicks your refrigerator. Cheers, mate. Cheers, you bellend. And then they're off on their, on their toes. And it's just so unhealthy. Anyway, you're seriously raising your risk for Alzheimer's disease. Anything like honey, any refined sugar devoid of fibre, is the second biggest dietary cause of Alzheimer's, which is now the biggest cause of death in UK people. So I really say, I would not eat any of those now, knowing what I know. Such a horrible way to die. Thanks for the super chats. I'm going to skip forward in the chat a bit, guys, so I don't get miles behind. If I miss your comment or question, do pop it back in the chat again, and hopefully I'll get to it this time. Thanks for answering my question about the cat food. Which brand is it that you use? I use Benevo. There's a few. I think there's Amy or Amy, Veggie Pets or something like that. But Benevo seems to be the one that our cats love the most. Harry, I don't like that they hide milk in almost every snack food here in the US. Yeah, UK is no different. Aldi here so far behind yours. Sad to see. I see your shopping halls and I go, look, but no. Yeah, sorry to hear that. Hopefully things will pick up soon. The world is going that way, isn't it? Dragonfish, should we add, I think you meant to say amla powder for the antioxidant power? Yes, it has more antioxidant power than blueberries. Yeah. However good your smoothie is, whatever you put in there, likely the teaspoon of amla will have more antioxidants than the rest of the smoothie put together. Oh, depending. I mean, you could probably do it if you really went mental. But me and Gemma like to use 1 to 2 grams a day. Bracekeeper, hello. Do you subscribe to the 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight philosophy? So my understanding of the data is for like a strength or physique athlete trying to optimize protein synthesis. 1 gram of protein per kilo of leanish body weight per day, because the data is always done on athletes, but sadly it's on total body weight. Should be optimal for most. There shouldn't be further benefit to any more than that. I think at 1.62. During a recomp, so in caloric maintenance or in a caloric deficit, then we need nearer 2 grams of protein, because actually protein requirements go up then. Of course, carbohydrates, protein sparing. So it needs to actually go up when we're not in a caloric surplus and we're not specifically trying to just build muscle, which sounds probably counterintuitive. So, so possibly is the answer, depending on who it is. For the masses, when the World Health Organization says for an average female 46 grams per day, for the average male 56. But of course, athletes do have an elevated need. So yes and no. Super chat. Jason Bravo, you lovely soul, kindly donated $9.99 on the super chat. Starting my oil-free, whole food, plant-based diet on Monday. Let's give Jason a round of applause. That's awesome. Keep us updated. Let us know how it goes. Very excited. I made great recipes for pancakes, waffles from buckwheat flour. Is applesauce good alternative for oil to cook? Yes, it really is. Yeah, that's very good. Oh, fantastic. Good luck. And like I say, let us know, keep us up to date. Let us know how it goes. I'd be very interested to hear. Lovely. Where the hell was I? Here we go. Applejar, does YouTube refund super chats that don't go through, or should I have to request something? Anyone know? That's normally, I've never known that to be a thing. Not saying that it can't be a thing, because YouTube are bloody useless. Yeah, I mean, I can send a message to my partner manager. They will ask for photographic evidence. So is that possible that you can do that at all? I don't know how you might do that unless you were recording your screen at the time. Yeah, or you might want to contact him yourself, perhaps, if it's your account. I'm not sure. If you've got a photo, I can get in touch. Well, I can get in touch anyway, but I know anytime I get in touch, they always say this thing is a screenshot or a video of the problem. This is really frustrating. Dragonfish freely says we need glucose for all our cells to have energy. Well, we make glucose from other macronutrients that we eat. So, do you know what I mean? If not, like, loads of people don't eat fruit, but they're able to move around. So this don't make sense, does it? Matthew Palmer Jones, do you recommend daily bean legume consumption? Yeah, was it the Blue Zone study found that for every 2 tablespoons of beans, I think that's about 20 grams, 8% less chance of an early grave. It was the one thing really heavily correlated between all the people of the Blue Zones, the areas with the most centenarians. They all eat some kind of a legume. So yeah, I like to eat 1 to 3 cans worth a day, basically. Oh, god damn. Shaggy, what do you think of wheat germ oil for vitamin E? I think wheat germ oil is probably the most vitamin E rich thing in existence. However, it's also an oil, which is like not so good. I mean, probably if you're having it raw and it's in an opaque bottle, it's not been heated, like probably you'd need so little that would it really make a difference in the grand scheme of things? Possibly not. We don't really know. No one's done the data. Whole foods plant-based versus whole foods plant-based plus 1 tablespoon of wheat germ. What I would say is wheat germ. Like eat the whole, that whole part of it. Although that again, it's a processed food. It's one part of the grain. It's one of the healthy parts. You've got the germ and the bran, and of course the endosperm, which is what we get left with when we refine grains into like a, say white flour or whatever, white rice. But that's mostly, it's a lot of energy, little nutrition, very low fiber. So yeah, it's good. It's extremely good for vitamin E. But I say eat the wheat bran or whole wheat in general. Dragonfist, if you come across some abandoned honey nest with all the bees left and there is honey in it, and you never come back as a vegan to eat the bee from it. No, it's an animal product, and that is excluded from the vegan diet. Also, like, why would that happen? I don't know. Maybe it could. I don't know everything. Fred Flint in the hizzy. Hi, do you supplement DHA, EPA, ALA? /Navy. So if you're eating adequately of like ground flax, ground chia, which is really like a couple of tablespoons for a guy or just 1 for a girl of or for a female of ground flax, ground chia, and your omega-6 is not more than like 4 to 1. You don't need to supplement anything, most probably. The vast majority of people, you just need to eat some, a whole food source of ALA. However, I do supplement algae oil, which is where fish get the EPA and DHA from. Some people may have a genetic defect where they can't elongate the ALA up into EPA, DHA like the animal like active forms. So I think it's a good fail-safe. It's cheap enough, and there may be health benefits to certain groups of people supposedly. So I say maybe 250 milligrams per day of DHA or combined EPA DHA per day. It seems reasonable. It shouldn't be causing any harm unless it's fish oil. There is data on fish oil showing that it causes harm because, of course, it's polluted. So eat down the food chain, eat the algae where the fish get the EPA DHA from in the first place. If you want my recommendations for the best supplements like EPA DHA, link below. Vivo Life, 10% off with my discount code Hench10, and that one is so strong. You actually only need to take that like 3 times a week. I take mine Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's real good quality. No shell. It's just like a tincture. Jonathan Cameron, what are your views on killing insects and harmful pests? Well, it's not vegan. It's not vegan. And, the worst pests, of course, are human beings. We're covering the planet with concrete, dumping our crap everywhere, and breeding animals such that the environment's changing and it won't support us in years to come the way we're going. So we're the worst pests. So we're probably the ones that need to be eradicated the most. Truth be told, I don't like to say that because I am one and I don't want to be eradicated. I think there's, there's ways of doing it. There's ways of doing it without killing. I'm not a fan. You have the right to self-defense. So, I think if someone, you need to take precautions, like put on like mosquito repellent. But if you're being attacked by mosquitoes and you have a horrible reaction, then I think maybe that's reasonable. Like, you've got some grounds for self-defense there, but, blue bottles, they're not going to kill you. And all you need to do is put out a jar with some fruit in the bottom, like a mango pit or just any old fruit. Put some foil over the top, elastic band, punch holes just big enough for the flies to go in. They'll get trapped in there. They won't be able to get back out, and you just release them down the bottom of the garden later on. So I think there's ways and means, but yeah, certainly not vegan to kill any animals. But we do have the right to self-defense, so that's kind of different. Dragon Fist, would you have chicken salt on fries? Chicken salt can be vegan. The chicken salt I have, vegan. Yeah, I would imagine there's just herbs and spices. Yeah, just herbs and spices. You want to check every brand, because no doubt there's one with a bit of a massacred chicken in there. But by and large, chicken season, poultry seasoning is herbs and spices. The chicken already tastes like chicken. People need to give it something so it tastes like plant, so it's more palatable. Ben, have you got a favourite vegan quote? I think mine is vegans aren't giving up everything, we're just not taking what's not ours. Yeah, I love that. That's very good. I don't know that I do. That one's awesome though. Yeah, I'll go with that one. Sergeant Mayen, good to see you. Right, just looking for questiones. D-time in the hizzy. Unfortunately, I don't speak that language. My apologies. Oh, Angharad's getting a video ready for today too. Nice. What's your video about, Angharad? Oracle speaks. Dude, you're looking great. Well, you are one amazing Oracle. I love you. You have the correct name. You really know your stuff. Thank you. Finlay, is fruit juice really as bad as normal sugary drinks? In what way? In what way would be my question. I mean, it's certainly got some nutrition in it, which is something. Unfortunately, I don't know if you might be alluding to this, because I've been talking about it a lot lately. In Dean and Aisha Sherzai's book, 30-Day Alzheimer's Solution, in their research, they found that fruit juice, like the free sugars in there, mean it's in there. What they're kind of terming, if you want to use Dr. Greger's sort of terminology, kind of a red light food, like the most dangerous type of food. Now, initially, when I saw the PDF, it was right. Salt was the worst, and then it said refined sugars, and then it was like, table sugar, honey, agave, maple, fruit juice. But actually, upon receiving the actual book, the finalised version, then it was just inside the red. It was down the less harmful end of the most harmful foods, if you like, rather than the most harmful end. So still like a massive risk for Alzheimer's, which is, I think, about the worst disease going probably, because, you lost the person before they're gone. They're going to be confused. They're going to be scared. They're going to be a burden. They're going to feel a burden. You're going to think they're a burden. And it's no way to spend the last few years of your life, is it? Do you know what I mean? So no fruit juice for me. But supposedly not as bad as, totally refined like sugar. There's no fibre in there really, so to speak. I mean, you might get an orange juice with juicy bits, but that's very little. So yeah, it massively raises your risk for a hypoglycemic index if you're diabetic. It's going to raise your triglycerides. Yeah, it's not doing much good in the body. There's healthy components, but when the sugar is cleaved from the fibre, the sugar causes problems, so you just don't need it. Marnie, what can I do if beans cause discomfort and I'm gluten intolerant? Avoid beans and rye, barley, and wheat. Yeah, I'd swerve glutinous grains, and I did for the longest time. About 7 years I was vegan and I didn't eat any glutinous grains, and I managed perfectly well. Luckily, there's tens, possibly hundreds of thousands of whole plant foods that you can eat that are not legumes, that are not wheat, barley, or rye. If it's just a discomfort, you might try, reducing the amount of legumes and slowly introducing them. It may just be that you don't have enough of the good bacteria that process them. I mean, it's good to get some in if you can, because they're probably about the second most nutritious food group on the planet, in my reckoning, from the data as it stands currently. I mean, that may be subject to change, but it is very health promoting. Some are less, bloat or discomfort producing than others. So like lentils are particularly good, and they're the highest in antioxidants as well. But yeah, it may be that you're trying to introduce them too quick. Maybe like you could try rinsing them better. You can take enzymes and things. There's a thing called Beano which can help. But at the end of the day, if you do for some reason have a severe problem, maybe they're not for you. I would imagine if you try it and the things I just said didn't work, imagine you probably have some kind of underlying gut issue. In that case, it would be really doing some gut tests, seeing have you got SIBO, there's several things that could cause it. And then hopefully if you find you have got some kind of a pre-existing condition, like treating it, I would recommend Goji Man's channel, watch some of his videos on the subject. And you may find some videos that resonate, and you may want to just try the advice there and see what happens. But usually it's just a case that people introduce too much too soon. And, the type of bacteria we have living in the colon is predicated on the types of foods we eat historically. If you try to change things too quickly, you basically oftentimes trying to feed carnivorous sort of bacteria like vegan foods, and, it's not getting eaten, and then it's laying around, fermenting basically. That's not the exact fit. There's a sort of a basic idea in layman's terms that wasn't very accurate or scientific really, but you can liken your gut microbiome to a zoo, and you need to, we need to preferentially feed the good guys, but we need the good guys to take over. Like at the minute, if we've been eating a lot of junk food, if we've been eating a lot of animal products, if we've not been eating a lot of whole plant foods, we're going to be bacteroides dominant basically. And these bacteria, they create disease, they create illness in the body. So we want them to change. We need to get their, it's called the enterotype, more Prevotella dominant. But it just takes a little while. So take out some of the old foods, put in some of the more fibre-rich foods over the course of a few short weeks. You should be golden. As I say, if you've still got issues, then probably, you may well have a pre-existing condition based on like a previously not optimal diet. But you can run tests and things. Zhao, am I pronouncing that? Do you like tofu? Yes. If so, how do you like to prepare it? I like to cube it up, marinate it in. You want a fat, something sweet. You want something sour, like acidic. So I don't know, for instance, I might marinate mine in, in something salty. So maybe soy sauce tamari, maybe tahini, maybe apple cider vinegar, or lemon lime juice. Maybe, maybe you blend up a date, or maybe I'll use the tiniest bit of maple syrup. Again, that's a free sugar, so mostly I'll lean towards dates now. But it's such a tiny amount, like it might not be so bad. You might put some herbs and spices in. You might put some nooch or something. Not typically nooch, but you could do. And just bake it basically, or air fry it. Sorry. Oliver, do you kill mosquitoes? No, I would seek to capture them and remove them. No can defend. Hey, Race Lever, how you doing? Quoting Karate Kid there. Log McFly, how to minimise saturated fat on a bulk. Nuts, tofu's contain rather a lot. I wouldn't worry too much about saturates in plant foods. Well, in some plant foods, you wouldn't want to load from coconut or palm oil or palm kernel oil or cocoa butter. I think the worst offenders are probably peanut butter, which is often what people use on the bulk. So I like almond butter. It's higher in vitamin E. It's got some omega-3s as well. So it was really peanuts are the naughty ones. But yeah, by and large, like tofu, other nuts and seeds, I wouldn't really be too concerned on their saturates. So there's different types of chain lengths. It's really the long and very long chain triglycerides that raise the risk for heart disease, elevate serum LDL. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much with nuts and seeds. Pesca, I do get oils from salmon. However, I want to try algae. On Surge's channel, he said our bodies can't convert the omega-3 from algae. Well, what a complete bellend, because it's the same oils that are in salmon. It's DHA. It's where the salmon got the fats from. What I would say about someone like Sverige is he a nutritionist? Does he have any credentials in nutrition or anything for that matter? He thinks that the earth's flat. He thinks exercise and drinking water are unhealthy. He thinks the only healthy thing in the world is meat, and like humans should eat nothing but meat. And basically, whatever he says, he is the king of backwards land. And I would really strongly suggest doing the opposite to whatever he says. The only reason he's this way is because he ate a typical like crap diet. Then he tried to eat a healthy diet, whole foods, plant-based. He did it straight off the bat, crapped himself, because we were talking about the gut microbiome earlier, he hadn't given enough time, he didn't slowly transition, so he didn't have the right bacteria to process the fibre, so he ended up peeing himself, getting really embarrassed, and deciding that vegans are evil and they're Satanists, and what he really means to say was he got embarrassed because he pooed himself because he didn't know how to transition safely to a healthy diet from his crap one. So, yes, my view on that. Kerry Williams in the hizzy. Yeah, that's good stuff. Dragon Fist. What would you do if you came home and found Terminator eating your house? Oh, termites eating your house. Would you call an exterminator? No, I think I'd just move. It's not my house. I don't really care about it, in all honesty. Robbie, have you used ashwagandha? Do you think it really improves mental health? Yeah, I have. My understanding of ashwagandha is it's one of those adaptogens, isn't it? And I think it works short term, but I think your receptor sites soon get saturated and it stops working. So I would only use that temporarily during times of like heavy stress. I'd add it in, briefly during that stress, and then I'd take it out again. But yeah, there's definite benefits. It's scientifically proven, but they are fleeting. They're temporary. Shaggy, I'm trying to build lean mass on a strictly whole food, so no protein powder. Going to eat loads of tofu and red lentils. Yeah. I mean, if you're really clever, you may be able to optimize your protein intake. Again, you're looking for 1.6 grams per kilo of leanish body weight per day on a gaining cycle. If you're trying to recomp or if you're ever doing a cut, you actually need it nearer 2 grams. So it's quite difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible, but then it might be difficult to get all your micronutrients in if you're eating nothing but lentils or, tons and tons of nooch, which is like 50% protein. So, yeah, it may well be possible to be optimal, or you may find you fall short. I'm not entirely sure. It's nothing that I've ever tried because, really for me, I like to eat a good range of things, and I think you'd be stuck eating like the most like protein-rich thing. So, but it's a noble thing. I mean, it's better to eat whole plant food. So, my hat's off to you. Oh, Jason, sorry, I didn't see your super chat. $1.99. You kind soul. Is pure maple syrup better than sugar-free syrup? In what way? So it's going to be better in terms of caloric. If you're trying to watch your calories, it's going to be better. However, it's going to raise your risk for the top killer of UK residents, Alzheimer's. I'm sure like sugar-free syrup's probably got some artificial nonsense in there which is harmful for us in some way, but then I'm sure maple syrup's got like a molecule, like a tiny bit of nutrition in there, not much at all, nothing like a whole plant food. Well, actually, I suppose that is a whole plant food, isn't it, maple syrup? It's the odd one which doesn't have fibre in it, so it don't work the same way. So I say, would you rather be shot or stabbed is a bit like what you're asking me there, from my perspective, for what it's worth, which apparently is $1.99. Yay me. Angharad is a homemade blackberry crumble. Oh, so it's a recipe video you've done. I've got this other camera on here, and I think I might keep accidentally looking into it. Let's get that out of the way. Oh, so Angharad's done a recipe video. Blackberries, so they are the most antioxidant rich of UK berries. So well done. Did you guys find them yourselves? Because I know they're very common in the hedgerows. Oh, mind you, it's probably not the time of year now, is it? I imagine they've all been picked. I'm not sure. I don't get out much. Anyway, so guys, check out Angharad's new video. What time does that come out? Well said, Rude Girl. Zhao, there are some rumours that even a balanced vegan diet could cause diabetes because of the carbs. No, high blood sugar is a symptom of diabetes. The cause is saturated fat inside muscle cells called intramyocellular lipids from eating animal fats and those horrible tropical oils I mentioned earlier, coconut oil, palm kernel oil, cocoa butter. It actually reverses type 2, right? Yeah. If you're not putting the fats in, particularly you probably want to be on a fat loss diet, so you're burning fat off, so you're getting the fat out of the muscle cells. So basically, fats have got inside the muscle cells, they're blocking insulin signaling. So imagine the target is the muscle cells. Insulin is like a key, and there's kind of the muscle cells are a lock, and the glycogen is on the back of the key. The key goes into the lock, transfers the glycogen. But these saturated fats, these intramyocellular lipids, so fats inside of muscle cells, it's like gum in the lock, just blocking the key. So now the sugar is staying in the blood. Now you've got the symptoms of type 2 diabetes, but you already had diabetes before you gave your body the carbohydrate load, if you see how that works. Speaking of nutrition and things, I should really get my shake in me. I've got Vivo Life Perform Protein, Strawberry Perform Protein today. Strawberry and vanilla is delicious. What are you guys' favourite Vivo Life products?
Never seen the colour of it like that before. You always have it
No.
in the shaker.
Gem, you couldn't do me a favour, could you?
Yes.
Fill about half of that up with water and put a spoon in there. It's all settled in the bottom, I've just
Yeah.
noticed. Actually, fill it right up if you don't mind. I'll get more hydrated. Thanks, lovely. You're really kind. Gemma, ladies and gentlemen, it's her birthday on Tuesday. It's her birthday on Tuesday. That's exciting, isn't it? I think we're doing 2 meals, are we? 2 meals out.
Yeah.
Thanks, babe. What is it, 21 again?
No, I don't care about getting older. 37, I think.
You wait till it's nearly your 50th, you suddenly realise you don't like it.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Maybe when I reach a number with a 0 in the end, I'm
Yeah.
you sort of said really. I'm going to the supermarket. Do you want to come with me if I wait for a while, or not really?
So I'm going to be streaming until 5. No, let's do it.
Sorry.
Can you take this one off me?
With pleasure.
Oh, I'm too hot. Is the heating on?
It was, I just turned it off. I thought you might say,
Oh,
let's get hot with the
I'll
lights
probably
and
be
everything,
cold
don't
again
you?
in a minute.
Yeah.
Do I want to go, to Asda?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do. What time? So, yeah, just after
So I need
5.
to make dinner, so I need to go there to get some things. It depends kind of what time.
Right, I'd rather eat a bit earlier. I'd
Yeah.
rather eat earlier than
So
later.
I'll get going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, darling. You're very kind. Be mindful, won't you?
Yeah, I will do it.
Okay.
Feels cupboards a beer.
Right, where was I? Pesca, I only occasionally eat white fish, but I eat way too much seaweed. Why are you picking on fish for? And why only fish? Is it because they don't scream? Does it make you feel not so bad about taking their lives, which is the only thing they've got, bless them? Oh. Dragonfish, can eating white potatoes cause diabetes? Dr. Greger seems to say so. Well, I wouldn't want to go against what Dr. Greger says, but I wouldn't have thought so. Maybe it can raise the risk if people have got some degree of intracellular lipids. But if they haven't, I think you could probably just neck refined sugar and it will get transported if there's no fat in the way block it. I mean, I'm not suggesting you do it because that's very unhealthy, but I'm not convinced at this stage, but if he's got science to show that it can do that. But yeah, again, I imagine it's got to be in people with the pre-existing diabetes. So does he say the cause of it, or does he say it raises the risk, but it needs to be in conjunction with intracellular lipids? Or I actually made the mistake the other day of saying causing diabetes when I meant to say causing a hypoglycemic episode by having high sugar in the diet. So yeah, perhaps I should watch that video and see exactly what it is he's saying. Good question, Dragonfist. I'm not quite sure. Leon, probably not Rust type 2. Vegans aren't immune. Well, certainly if they're not eating. Again, there's vegan diets and there's vegan diets. Yeah, and I'm not sure that it's definitely reversible, even with the healthiest diet. But I think the chances are very, very, very good as far as I understand.
I've got to find my gloves and everything to go outside.
Oh, it's gone really cold in the UK. We're not happy. All of a sudden. We're celebrities. Get us out of here. I've got a tropical background to try and cheer myself up a bit. Mike, hello Paul, have you experimented with psychedelics? Not today, but I did yesterday. So, yeah, disclaimer, you need to do your research if you're going to look into doing psychedelics. Some people shouldn't. It's not going to be very healthy for them. But lots of people get amazing benefits, and I'm one of them. So I microdose things like LSD, psilocybin mushrooms. I sometimes do macro doses for not for a party type thing, because I don't think it's very conducive to that. But just for learning, for undoing past traumas and just getting more perspective, growth. I think it's amazing, and I honestly believe that any world leader, any president or prime minister or whatever, I think these people should have to have done several plant medicine ceremonies. And I really think there would be a lot less violence, a lot less war, etc. It's like you get to see the other person's perspective. You get to feel their perspective. And it's often not very nice. It's not something to be taken lightly. You can have the most horrible time. But oftentimes these horrible times, people, say bad trips. Well, in medical facilities around the world where they've got funding, where they've actually got government funding and they are studying like the use of psychedelics, they don't say, in treatment, they don't say bad trip, they say challenging trip. And actually this is what you're kind of looking for. But yeah, just because I do it, don't think that you need to run out and do it. You need to do a load of research, find out if it's like going to be harmful for you. And, there is some degree of risk. Nothing like people say, nothing like the government propaganda. And yeah, 40 major medical institutes throughout the world are studying their use in treatment, resistant depression, PTSD, alcoholics and stuff like that. It can reverse all kinds of stuff. It's so powerful. Recently, Johns Hopkins actually got given $90 million from the US government because it's been so efficacious in helping people. But again, don't just go and do it. And in these medical centres, they have like 2 counsellors as well. It's in a safe setting. Like you got setting, so your mindset going in. If you've been in a bad space, like be prepared for a really horrible time. I wouldn't recommend it. And then setting, like you need to be safe, like you need to be in a safe environment. Ideally, you need an experienced sitter, to make sure you don't do anything stupid. But, by and large, the idea that you're going to jump out of a window, like that might be about 1 in a billion people or something stupid. But yeah, not to be taken lightly, however. I think I got away with that then, but I'm going to tell you, I just managed to pour protein shake all down my abs. What about you, Mike? Do you have experience with those types of thingamies? How far behind am I in the chat? Not too far, I don't think. Dragonfish, what do you think of freely calling rolled oats, tofu, tempeh, very dry wartime feed? I think that's probably a bit over the top, and there's some extremely healthy stuff in there. And who eats dry oats? Just put some water or some plant milks with it. Right, Stephen. Leon, one of my greatest vices is eating way too late. Yeah, that's not good for our sleep. Lack of sleep, I just found out, is carcinogenic. So that was this PhD, this lady on Rich Roll's podcast, I think. No, Simon Hill's Plant Proof podcast. And then Matthew Walker, he's just released a book on sleep. One of the world leading kind of research scientists. He said the less we sleep, the less we live. So that's serious. So I wouldn't be messing around with that. And also, calories are worth more the later the day goes on. So having them before bed is going to be particularly bad if weight management is a concern. Rude Girl didn't Sturridge talk about cannibalism once? Yeah, he was in hospital for something, and then he had these delusions or these ideas that he wanted to eat the doctor or something. Yeah, he's a complete bellend. Shaggy, peanut butter is cheap though. Yep, but what value do you put in your life, eh? That is good though, I will admit it. Yeah, almond butter is a lot more expensive. It's not 4 times more in the UK, but it is a little bit more. That's for sure. That's for sure. Pesca, I want to live raw vegan, but I'm worried I will be deficient. Yeah, well, you may well be. I would encourage you to eat a balanced whole food plant-based diet with some cooked food, legumes, whole grains, broccoli, garlic and things. So the only thing you're really getting from fish is omega-3, which, we've been talking about omega-3 all night. You can get that in a vegan diet in several different ways. If you want the real optimal type, the DHA, which is found in fish, an algae oil supplement, it's the same stuff, but it's not got biomagnified pollutants in it, which store in the oil in the fish. Vitamin D, something like 2/5 of Americans are... No, what is it? About half the world is vitamin D deficient. From your average omnivorous diet, people get about 300 IUs per day, international units. The requirement of your average adult to be optimal is about 2,000. So you never get it from the fish anyway. You'll never get it from the fish. And even if you tried, you'd be getting tons more pollutants like mercury, industrial pollutants, other heavy metals, pesticides. Yes, it's really the oceans are the sewers of mankind, and on all these toxins bioaccumulate up the food chain. Plus, you've got the microplastics, which accumulate in the fish, in the tissue, in the muscle. So that's raising your estrogenic load with xenoestrogens. It's really vitamin D and DHA, and you can get those as a vegan, as I've just been talking about. Vitamin D, get some sun, take a supplement. DHA, take an algae oil supplement, eat some ground flax, ground chia, walnuts, hemp hearts. We'll be golden. But what you won't be getting is saturated fat, which is in the muscle cells of the fish. You won't be getting any of the saturated fats, heavy, like I say, all the industrial pollutants, all the plastics that bioaccumulate up the food chain. You'll be fine. Anyway, good on you, Pesca, for wanting to do it. Good on you. I understand your reticence. I was nervous before I went vegan like 9 years ago. I've had my bloods tested twice since being vegan. All my essential nutrients were bang at the top of range, except for B12, which was a little too high, but that's fine because that's water soluble anyway, so it's not going to harm you. So yeah, not a concern. But you just need to eat healthily. You need to eat enough calories, and you need to eat the range: legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs and spices. Supplement vitamin D in the winter months. Take a B12 supplement. Have a bit. You're having some seaweed as well, you said, which is where some vegans and just people in general can fall down from the lack of iodine. You do really well. You do really, really well. Nostalgic vegan with an interesting question. Is overeating a symptom or a cause of obesity? It's both. It's both. So you won't get obese without overeating. But once you've been overeating, you've got more fat cells, your body will produce less leptin, which is the hormone that tells you to stop eating. So you'll be more hungry. So it does both. So we were both right. Anchorad, we went blackberry picking. Oh, nice. Channel video. You used date sugar. Ah, very healthy. Round of applause for Anchorad and co. I approve. Oh, I'd love to try that. That sounds lovely. Good on, race lever. Zhao, indeed, if that is how I pronounce your name. I will check out your nutrition course. Yeah, please do. Yeah, so, our course. Yeah, so we've got a free download. If you guys have heard any interesting info tonight and it's whet your appetite to, maybe eat a more optimal vegan diet if you're not already, free ebook or e-guide, like just the complete basics, how to do it, complete overview, how to not mess up. But if you really want a deep dive, we have got a course which is out now, which we've dropped at a low introductory price for a short time. It's our cookbooks, it's 14 videos, there's loads of PDFs, downloadable, printable, nutrition guide for all ages and stages of life, so you can be sure that your whole family is thriving. Everything you could hope to need to know to be optimal, to optimize your health, your sports performance, if there's something you worry about, your physique, if you're trying to build muscle, if you're trying to burn fat, a bit of both. It's all, everything you could hope to need to know is in there, I would say. There's also a Facebook page, like an exclusive Facebook page where you can just ask any question, and you can post your progress, like your goals, you can do updates, you can try to inspire others, like cheer them on, and you can be held accountable and you can be cheered on yourself. So I think that's well good. It's, I think it's pretty darn cheap, but have a look, see what you think, link below. Happy future birthday, Gemma. I'll tell her when it comes back. Receiver, what are you and Gemma getting me for my birthday? Sex toys? Don't know why we'd be getting you sex toys. Steve, hi Paul, greetings from Hong Kong. Haven't I met you in real life, or was that Steve Townsend rather than Townshend? Let me know. And hi, how are you doing? And why have I gone backwards? And why did I miss that in the first place? Robert Pacino, does cruelty-free equal vegan? Does anyone know? Do you mean in terms of labels? And I don't think it necessarily does. I think it can contain animal products, potentially. Probably means like not tested on animals, I think, or in our country anyway. Anyone got any other perspective? Let me know in the chat. Callum, what is your favourite bean? Butter beans are my favourite in terms of enjoyment. In terms of nutrition, I think I like black beans. Dragon Fist. So Dr. Gregor says people without diabetes can increase their risk when they eat potato. Yeah, but can they only increase their risk if they have some degree of intramyocellular lipids? Can you see what I mean? So if you're eating like most foods, but you've got intramyocellular lipids, but you're eating most foods, you get away with it. But perhaps if you're eating like, say, table sugar and white potatoes, and as well, because normally we eat quite a lot of potatoes, like does that then... Do you see what I mean? I'm like thinking like that's probably a thing. But yeah, I think it would show up sooner, basically. If you're eating refined sugar, if you're eating white potatoes, like high GI foods, I imagine that the diabetes would like show up sooner. But I don't think it's the cause of it. I think it's the symptom. But anyway, what do I know? I'll have to read his stuff. Red Girl, what happened to the rule of thumb when it comes to most foods, everything in moderation? People woke the hell up. How many razor blades do you want to eat in moderation? How many hand grenades do you want to eat in moderation? What is moderation? What's moderation for me might be like overdoing it in reality. The healthiest foods are whole plant foods. If we just eat those, that's the potential for the happiest, healthiest, longest life. If you have like a small amount of some types of oil, would that increase like your risk for disease? Like olive oil, like we don't really know. Like say there's a couple of tablespoons and it's raw, don't really know. We're not done the science is the trouble. We're not done whole foods plant-based versus whole food plant-based and 2 tablespoons of oil or one bottle of oil. Olive oil or, a small amount of coconut oil or a small amount of animal products. What we can infer is the more whole plant foods we eat, the happier, healthier and longer we'll live. And the more we add in of non-whole plant foods, like the more of a detriment it will have. Can you get away with like a tiny bit and it not change the outcome? We don't know. Probably is the answer, but how tiny does that have to be and why risk it that's my perspective on it. It sounds so good, doesn't it? Oh, moderate amount, like that's all right. You know, it sounds like feasible, doesn't it? It sounds sort of maybe like that sounds sensible, but we don't know. Like, and what is moderation? And we just haven't got the science. You would have to eat such a small amount of animal products or coconut oil to get your serum LDL, you know, below 70 milligrams per deciliter a day. And if you've raised it above that, now you've raised your risk for the top killer of Westerners, whereas if you'd have just eaten whole plant food, you wouldn't have done. So, that's my take. Sorry, I better just drink a bit of my shaky. Where was I? I think this is just zipped forwards for no reason. God knows what happened there. Here we go. Rude girl, if one eats potatoes on a daily basis, they will be unhealthy for many reasons. I mean, how many potatoes? And I don't know that. Well, if Dr. Greger's saying that you can get diabetes, like that is a top killer disease, so maybe that there is something to it. But I don't think that they're, in terms of nutrition, they're pretty good. People say they're rubbish. They're actually pretty good. They got loads of vitamins and minerals. You know, they're a whole plant food. You wouldn't raise your risk for, like, you know, heart disease, the top killer. I don't know about many reasons. Potentially, like, one or two for all I know. Well, one according to Dr. Greger, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know everything, in fairness. Scooty, what is your height and weight? 6 foot and about 17 stone. So I don't know what that is in pounds. So 17 times 14, whatever that is. Thanks, Oliver. Ian Boz, hi Paul, I love your channel, and you're doing another cookbook. As love your other ones. Do you use plant milks? If so, which ones? If not, why not? I sometimes use a little soya milk. You know, just if I'm making something which it will be a sort of benefit to. By and large, I don't use plant milks. You know, they are processed. A lot of them have crap in, like, you know, oils can be. It's not palm oil, is it, in there? But it can be oil. I like to avoid oils as much as possible, really, other than a minuscule amount in a couple of my supplements. Can have added sugars, can have artificial, like, vitamins and minerals, which possibly likely do more harm than good, if anything at all, in the body, according to meta-analysis. I say not really, but I think if someone was to use a plant milk, look for low ingredients like additives. You know, I would say make your own plant milk. So get some oats, whiz them up in a blender, strain it, like whiz a date up in there for some sweetness. Yeah, I would do that personally rather than anything else. Thanks, Scooty. Oh no, Antonio is in the hizzy. Good to see you. I'll check that out later, Dragon Fist. Thank you. Dragon Fist, what do you think of freely and eating things like 30 bananas a day or mangoes a day? Her diet seems expensive. Well, it's not expensive to her because they grow in her back garden, but yeah, they'd be very expensive for someone not living in the tropics. And I think you're going to end up with vitamin deficiencies, in all honesty. Like, just, what do they call that? Like, what's that style of eating where you're just eating one thing? Anyway, I think it's stupid. You're so limiting your types of fibre, and the potential for the greatest health outcome we now know is relative to the gut microbiome, and really we need to have as diverse a range of gut bacteria as possible, these Prevotella strains that eat fibre-resistant starch and polyphenols, whereas that found in whole plant food. So if we're just eating one or two types of fruit, you're just getting, like, I don't know, T3, 4 types of fibre, where you could be getting hundreds of different types of fibre and having like the rural, is it Ugandans? They have like up to 1,600 strains of bacteria because they eat so many different plants. Mike, have you heard about 5-MeO-DMT? Also, thanks for your input. You're very welcome. Yeah, isn't that the old toad? So that's like, is it frog venom? So that's not going to be vegan. But yeah, I hear that's quite a ride. Not for the faint-hearted. I understand. I've never tried that and never will because it's not vegan. I did try Cambo before. That was an experience, I can tell you. My head blew up like a football. It was mental. Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, I remember, Leon, I remember Dr. Gregor talking about refrigerating potatoes, and then you raise the resistant starch, and then that doesn't have such a bad effect on blood sugar. Yeah, do you remember something about that? Connor, how much sun a day would achieve your vitamin D? I did hear that it would require about 25 minutes of total body sun exposure on the equator to get optimal levels. Now, I don't know if that was for a white person or a black person, because that's going to vary. That's going to vary greatly, depending on the darker the skin, the harder that is to get in. It's quite difficult. It's quite difficult, is the truth of it. It's my understanding, particularly if you're not living on the equator. It will take a very long time. Connor, what is your opinion on having a cheat meal once a week for someone that's in their early 20s, working out 4 or 5 times a day? I think if you're eating a whole foods plant-based diet and then once a week you eat a ton of donuts, I don't think you're going to enjoy your whole foods plant-based diet. Certainly not for the rest of the day. Most people, once they get the taste of that hypercaloric food, like the sugar, the oil, the salt, most people fall off the bandwagon and then just prefer to eat crap because they've ruined their taste buds. And another thing I'll say is your body's never not looking. Here are you cheating. And if you're eating masses of coconut oil or steak, or, you just seriously raise your risk for heart disease. You've got tons of salt on there. You've seriously raised your risk for dementia. If you're going to have a big Coke or, like a big, like milkshake or something, like there's heart disease, there's dementia, there's stroke. Maybe you get away with it. I can't imagine you live as long as you would have done. You're certainly not optimising your health, and you're making it hard to stick to and enjoy real food. What I found is by cutting out junk food, I just enjoy the real food, and I don't need to cheat. And say I'm out and about and I get really hungry, there's nothing good to eat, and I do have to eat some junk food. I feel horrible. I don't find it a treat at all. I find it like a punishment, and I'm so keen to get my healthy food back in. But each their own. Like if you don't want to have optimal health, and often people in their 20s or whatever, they don't give a shit because we think we're going to live forever. When you get to like nearly half a century old like me, you think, oh, should I have kept doing that? And like, how much have I raised my risk for cancers and things? And how short am I going to cut my life? Or like how are my last few years going to feel if I'm it's not just the death, it's disability as well. Like, so for me, it's not worth it. If you're not fussed about being optimal and you don't mind losing, 10 years off your life. And then it might not be as bad as that, and it depends what you're cheating with. But I just feel like I wish I'd have done it properly the whole time. And just my health is worth a lot more to me than like a cheat meal, where everything's going to taste probably quite amazing. You're going to feel like shit afterwards, and say I've got really hungry and I there's nothing else to eat. I'm out and about and I do eat some. I think, this is going to be really and it's never half as good as I think it's going to be. So it's not for me, but each to their own. Each to their own. Scooty, hi, very inspired by your work. I know what is your height and weight to know what I should be shooting for. Good man. So mindful. I've been following primarily Dr. Esselstyn's diet 2 years in. Haven't felt this skin in my life. Yeah, I bet. Right, looking for questiones. Robert, do you know if cruelty-free equals vegan? I don't know if you heard me earlier, but at the risk of repeating myself, if you're talking about labels on products, I don't think it necessarily does. I think it means no animal testing, but I don't think it necessarily means that there's no animal products in the product. Because what you're really looking for is the Vegan Society label, I think. Dragonfist, what do you think when Freely reviews What Eating Day videos? Whenever she sees tea or coffee, she immediately says that their diet is deficient and they should have eaten a lot of sweet fruits. Yeah, I mean, not necessarily, is it? Like, you know, like the sort of energy you get from caffeine is quite different from the energy you get from food. So I don't think it necessarily follows, but yeah, I guess someone not eating enough calories, like they would be more prone to like having like stimulants in the diet. So, you know, it's a possibility. I think it's more of a case by case basis than that though. Mike, from 0 to 10, how afraid are you of death? I don't know. It's not something I ever worry about. So I'll say 0 at the minute, but I'm not facing it. Not facing it at the minute. Leon, -10, death is afraid of pain. Thank you. That's funny. Dragon Fist, but her blood tests come back perfect. How do you explain that? I'm not sure what that's relative to, but so I was saying like it's probably possible to be deficient. Well, I don't know. Maybe it is possible. I don't know it all, but you know, if you were only to eat like one fruit or whatever on a given day, you know, there's no omega-3 in there for a start. So there are going to be deficiencies. So either she's eating a much more varied diet than she's saying, or I don't know what, or there's someone else's blood test and she's just put her name on it. I don't want to call her a liar. I'm sure she's a great person. Yeah, and again, I'm not saying it's impossible on a raw diet, but yeah, if you're just eating fruit and you're eating these like mono meals, you know, there's so many essential nutrients that are not really in fruits in high enough amounts. Like, you know. But then if she's eating a lot of greens and stuff as well, like a lot of them will be shored up. So, yeah. Brace, totally interested in your course. Just request to be part of your Facebook group. Oh, lovely. Signing off. It's all 1 a.m. in Okinawa. You're in one of the blue zones. Thanks for amazing content and happy birthday, Gemma. Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you for being interested in our course. That's been our saving grace. Like we've sold a few of those, and I think if it wasn't for that, we might have to get like proper jobs, not doing vegan activism all the time. So yeah, we really appreciate any purchases. Our books are currently 30% off as well, our cookbooks. Yeah, and we've got a new book coming out very soon as well, so stay tuned for that. Thanks, Rude Girl. Oh, it's getting late. I'm sure you would, Race. Timmy, what's more important for your health, cardio, or diet? Again, like to me, that's a bit like asking, would you rather be stabbed or shot? Like you don't want to not do either. I would say diet possibly is a bit more important because you can die of deficiencies very quick. But you know, if you're not exercising, that's gonna severely limit your lifespan, most probably, and raise your disease risk. Rude girl, I was talking about in defence of potatoes to moderation. I'm not sure quite what you're saying, but I like your style. I think potatoes in moderation are likely fine, unless you have got these intracellular lipids, in which case, like, a moderate amount of those may give you a hypoglycemic episode, which otherwise you may not have had potentially. If you're eating a whole foods plant-based diet, that shouldn't be a problem, certainly if you've been eating it for a while. Pesca, why was Jamie Foxx eating 30 eggs for breakfast? Can't even process that much. I think he was joking. He said that he eats 30 raw eggs through a straw and then rubs a pancake all over himself. And then later on, he said he eats some egg whites, a slice of toast. I think that was meant as a joke, but he is certainly eating some egg whites as far as he says. If you were to have them raw, you wouldn't get a fraction of the protein. You're right, because you wouldn't have enough. Is it albumin? Or you can only absorb so much albumin, like protein in that sort of gelatinous form. I think that's the thing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, potatoes are delicious and cheap. That's very true. Thanks, Scooty. You're most kind. Appreciate you. Dragonfish, what do you think of freely making fruit juices? Drinking 2 litres of fruit juice. Well, seriously raises the risk for Alzheimer's disease, apart from anything else. She extracts the sugar from the fruits and drinks that liquid. She says that it's healthy and optimal. She's not privy to the latest research, and I would invite her to get Dean and Aisha Sherzai's, like, neurologist couple, new book, 30-Day Alzheimer's Solution. John, do you think consuming animals would be considered evil in the afterlife? I mean, who's in there? Who's in charge? And, I mean, I consider it evil, but, like, I don't think you can call someone evil if they didn't know better. I mean, we all learned as a child that it's normal, natural, and necessary to eat animals, so you wouldn't accuse most children of being evil. Like, they've just been told this bum advice, this misinformation. So I wouldn't consider that evil in that case. But once you know better, and you know you don't need to eat them, and you know that they do suffer, but you then choose to do it, although you could eat something like more delicious, that's healthier, then, if I was in charge of the afterlife, I would certainly consider that evil. Jack, how are you doing, Jack? Nice to see you. Long time no see. How are you keeping? Oh, it's probably that time. It's nearly that time. I've got to go in a minute, but I have got a video going live in 3 minutes, so please check that out. Noah, hey Paul, should I be concerned about my iodine levels? Yes, you should. I try and have a couple of teaspoons of nori flakes. That's not going to be enough. No. So you need at least 1.5 sheets of nori daily to get your 150 microgram minimum. A teaspoon of dulse or arame flakes a day would do it. And vegan mooncat, that's a very good idea. Let's put that link in there. Oh God, how do I find it? There he is. Oh, and that was your recommendation, Mooncat. It's the old Isaac Butterfield response. Copy. I feel like I've done a good job on this response. I was very sassy again. I was back to my old sassy self. So, guys, please, after the stream, can you play that video? If it's not for you, leave it playing in another window, and then the YouTube algorithm will think that you're watching it, and it will share it out to more people. And then we can make the world vegan quicker. So please, or watch it if you want to. I think it's quite a funny video. So give it a look. Let me know what you think. yeah, I should probably sign off really. Hi, Betty Green. How are you? Good to see you. It's not anything you said. But yeah, my video is now going to go live and I better do some other things. Thanks, moderators, for keeping us troll-free. Thanks for the super chats, keeping the beans on my toast, the wolves from the door and the cameras rolling. Oh, and do subscribe to Vegan Mooncat. We're doing a live stream tomorrow at 6 p.m. on his channel. And video's private because it's not quite 5 o'clock. But hopefully that'll be 5 o'clock any second. Let's see. Right, that should be live now. Oh no, it says private. Is it because it's not 5 o'clock according to YouTube? Scheduled. 5 p.m. October the 2nd. Yeah. Should be live. Let's give it another go. Okay, it's live now, guys. Please click on the link, give that a watch. Yeah, and as I say, just if you even don't like it, just play it through, and then YouTube will more likely share it out, and we can keep doing this for a living. If you want to optimize your health, sports performance, or physique, download my free vegan nutrition guide. Complete overview. If you want a really deep dive of new courses out at a low introductory price, links are below. Check out my video. I love you lots. We're back tomorrow. It's Gemma's birthday on Tuesday. We're going out for a meal tomorrow night, and we won't be back in time for the stream. So we're going to stream at 4 p.m. tomorrow. 4 p.m. GMT, me and Gemma. There's a link on my page if you want to click on there, set a reminder, or put a reminder on your phone. See you soon, guys. Enjoy the new video. Love you lots. Bye for now.